Maya Reynolds was the top of her class. Ethan Walsh was the heart of the swim team, and Janelle Ortiz had her future mapped to the minute 3 promising students at Ravenwood University, all dead within 3 weeks each, found with a red thread tied around their left ring finger. What started as isolated tragedies soon unraveled into one of the most chilling unsolved cases in campus history. This is the college murders. What really happened? And the truth is far darker than anyone imagined. It started on a rainy Thursday in October, the kind of day when the skies hang low and everything feels slightly off. At Ravenwood University, a prestigious college tucked deep in a New England town, students hurried across the campus paths, backpacks over their heads to shield from the drizzle. No one noticed the empty dorm room on the 4th floor of Hastings Hall. No one thought much about Maya Reynolds not showing up to her psychology class that morning. She was always quiet, always on time, but college life was unpredictable. Students disappeared for a day, sometimes 2. It was until Friday evening that campus security unlocked her room at the request of a concerned professor. Maya's body was found curled in her bed, pale and lifeless, a single red thread tied around her left ring finger. The death was ruled suspicious but not conclusive. There were no signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle, and no apparent cause of death. Toxicology reports would take weeks. In the meantime, the university tried to calm the growing tension. Grief counselors were brought in, campus patrols increased, but within 7 days, another student was gone. Ethan Walsh, a sophomore on the swim team, failed to return from a late-night practice. His roommate assumed he had stayed out with friends, but by morning his phone was still on his desk, untouched. His duffel bag sat unzipped. He'd left his ID and keys behind. The search expanded from the dorms to the nearby woods. 2 days later, his body was found in the shallow end of the old, unused indoor pool behind the student rec center. He had drowned, but strangely, he had no water in his lungs. A single red thread was tied around his left ring finger. Panic spread fast. Students held vigils with candles and printed flyers with bold letters, "2 dead. Who's next?" Rumors twisted like ivy around the truth. Whispers of a secret society, of old rituals, of someone targeting students with no apparent link between them. But the police found no pattern. Maya was a neuroscience major. Ethan studied political science. He didn't share classes or clubs or even mutual friends. Then came the third. Janelle Ortiz, a senior about to graduate early, was found in the library archives. She had checked in at 2:12 a.m., swiping her student ID at the basement entrance. She'd never checked out. Her body was discovered 2 days later, behind a row of forgotten filing cabinets, hidden under an old tarp. She had no wounds, no signs of restraint, just the same red thread on her ring finger. Security footage from that night had mysteriously corrupted. No one could say who entered or left after Janelle. 3 students, 3 deaths, no cause, no suspects, always the red thread. The FBI joined the investigation. They pulled records, questioned professors, even examined past student deaths going back 20 years. One agent noticed something strange. There were files sealed from 1998, connected to an incident labeled Hastings Hall, closed investigation. When unsealed, they told of a student named Connor Blythe, who had been found dead in the exact same room where Maya Reynolds had lived. He had reportedly suffered from seizures and paranoia in the weeks before he died. His death had been dismissed as an accidental overdose, but in the original autopsy photos, still faint on his finger, was a red thread. The story twisted again when a university archivist named Grace Daly came forward. She had seen the pattern: red thread, ring finger, specific rooms on campus, all connected to Hastings Hall. She claimed the building was the site of a long-buried secret experiment. In the 1970s, a group of psychology students under Professor Emery Lyle conducted behavioral conditioning trials. The tests were unethical and unsanctioned: sleep deprivation, hypnosis, sensory manipulation. One of the students involved reportedly became unhinged, obsessed with the idea of controlling death itself. That student's name had been Connor Blythe's uncle. The university denied any connection. But Grace disappeared the night before she was scheduled to present her findings to the press. Her body was never found. That same week, the murder stopped. The dorm room where Maya had died was sealed. The old pool drained and shuttered permanently. Police files remained open but inactive. No further suspects were identified. No evidence linked to deaths. It was as if the killer or whatever force was behind the red thread had simply vanished. Years later, a new student moving into Hastings Hall for orientation found something strange tucked inside a vent. A photo, yellowed with age, of 4 people smiling in a lecture hall. One of them was Professor Emery Lyle. Another was Connor Blythe. The photo had a red thread pinned across it, stretched from one side to the other, and in the corner, scrawled in tiny print, were the words, 4 begins the circle, 3 completes the debt. The photo was handed to campus police. 2 days later, it went missing from the evidence locker. The officer who had logged it was found unconscious in her car, with no memory of the past 12 hours. On her left ring finger was a single red thread. No one has been able to explain what really happened at Ravenwood University. But every year on the anniversary of Maya's death, someone leaves a bundle of red thread on the steps of Hastings Hall. No one sees who does it. No one ever speaks of it, but everyone remembers.